especially Stephen being on the left, Max being on the right, in terms of having the Second Amendment be respected and have these sort of militias, but also respecting human life. Is this something that needs to be more strongly regulated, or is this something that, constitutionally it's a right, so we need to continue to allow this to happen?
I'm scared as a country we're moving that direction, where there's gonna be a lot more. You saw it in Wisconsin recently, but I'm scared we're gonna see a lot more of that. Of like where like finally people are just like start killing each other from both sides. And we saw that in Kenosha with the Rittenhouse, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Not whatever. But I was just trying to remember his name. But like I am just scared about it in general. That we're gonna see a lot of people like take matters into their own hands. Because they're like, the government's not doing, let me be Batman.
I think we're already seeing it. We're already seeing it. We were starting to see it a couple of years ago with the one guy with the pipe bombs. Remember the pipe bomb guy that made a bunch of pipe bombs with? He was one of those dudes that had the Trump bumper stickers all over his van, and then he was going to mail the pipe bombs to all the government officials.
That was sketchy. I didn't believe that one.
And we're seeing it. We're seeing it again. With
Gretchen Wieners.
Gretchen Wiener. Thank you. Yeah,
dude,
we're
I
seeing
don't
it
believe
again.
that one either. I'm calling fake news on that one. On the winter one.
I'm gonna believe it.
Look into that one, audience. There's more. Like, I'm not 100% sold. That was a honeypot. That's something the government needs to stop doing. And like very often they'll go, like they've been doing this to the Muslim community like often, where they like get an FBI agent and they rile someone up and they're like, yeah, let's go, blow up the president, and then freeze, we got you. This was one of those cases where like the FBI was like in it from the beginning, like riling these people up. Some were actually Black Lives Matter, like it wasn't a political thing. And now she's a hero, and I don't know.
I didn't see any of those 9 guys supporting Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, one did for sure.
Yeah. Well, I still don't think I still don't think it's a setup. I firmly believe that domestic terrorism, as of now, is a bigger threat than foreign terrorism.
Well, you look at sort of, I guess, the way that Trump interfaces with these people as well, as he can't go and make a speech because he's in a tiff with Gretchen Wieners. He can't.
Whitmer. Gretchen Wieners is from Mean Girls.
Mean Girls. Yes. Thank you very much for my pop culture
so
is much better than my politics. You can't just make fetch happen.
Right?
Make fetch great again.
Yeah. Maffa.
Make it fetch. Anyways, but the people that were doing this, regardless of whether or not they were riled up by people within the FBI, I mean, these are his supporters. So when he can't condemn it, or when, during the first debate, instead of condemning white supremacy, he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by, is it problematic when we're looking at a president that is, whether or not you believe this, inciting this sort of action, or appearingly inciting this sort of action, but then not standing up to government officials that are put in harm's way because of a personal vendetta he has against them?
This is the first conspiracy theorist president, and there are some downsides to that. There's some upsides, but there's definitely some downsides. Because he is like, I think people kind of underestimate the effects on like InfoWars and Alex Jones, and how you're rigging up how like 60% of Republicans believe in QAnon. I think there's a pretty similar percent that believe in Pizzagate. And so I do think Trump is as much of a conspiracy theorist as a Republican. Like, he wasn't a Republican 4 years ago.
No, he actually did donate a lot of money to, the DNC back in the day, but then Obama happened.
And what was he famous for? For that conspiracy theory.
Yeah. For the birtherism, yeah.
So I think that's just that's the wave that Donald Trump rode on. I'm not sure if it's organic or if for whatever reason, but no, there's definitely some cons, but I do think there's some pros to, like, because I do like people being critical and questioning. I don't like people blowing up courthouses and pipe bombs. I don't like that, but I do like people
and
being
injecting
critical.
Clorox.
So it's a hard, and I like you. I want you to get more work, Steven. Like, don't not hire him because of some shit you read. Like,
listen, and don't inject Clorox. Listen to the damn doctor. As much as I hate doctors myself, you got to listen to him.
But to what degree is there a point at which it goes too far? I know that you're all for questioning, everything that you hear, but at some point, I think there's a difference between questioning and believing in conspiracy, because generally we look at the people that act on conspiracy and they are overwhelmingly mentally ill. They are overwhelmingly indoctrinated with information that is false. You know, is there a problem in condoning that kind of behavior? You know, absolutely question things and make sure that you're thinking for yourself, but condoning something like conspiracy theory, I mean, could that possibly, you know, lead to the next major tragedy that happens on American soil to Americans from an American?
Well, the one that affects me, like just from my background the most, is like Holocaust deniers because I'm Jewish. And it's kind of like, that's the one where I sympathize with like victims on it, where I'm like, wow, this sucks. They believe that I'm like, me and my family are capable of doing something that fucked up. Like lying is bad, but lying about that sort of thing and like, you know, the things that they believe.
Right.
So so like I feel it, but I do believe on the greater ideal of like that more truth is the only way to beat lies and not suppression. And so yeah, no, it's like you like legally you gotta draw the line when there's like violence or when people are planning and coordinating things. Like if the Gretchen Whitmer thing was organic, yeah, that's terrible. If the FBI was like riled them up, different story. But yeah, I would draw the line with violence, and it's just like an uncomfortable, shitty thing that I sympathize with, especially on Holocaust deniers. But I'm just like I think the principle is too important to risk it with questioning things. Because like, what about the Iraq War? You could have arrested anyone that said that Iraq didn't have WMDs. That was conspiracy theory.
Fair. Steven?
Yeah.
I mean, I agree, but that's just it. You know, there's not government interference for saying things. There's, you know, you don't get in trouble for saying things because we have freedom of speech. However, it doesn't give you the right, and I'll use the old Republican analogy, to scream fire in a crowded theater, you know?
Shank versus the United States, 1918. I did like a report on that in like 5th grade. Yeah, Supreme Court case, for sure. Yeah, that's too with firearms too. Like there are limits to every amendment. Like you can't have a nuclear weapon, obviously.
Exactly.
If you disagree, debate me. No, but I'm very pro 2A, very pro 1A. But like clearly, like they use the word ought is used a lot. It's like should.
I think it's also, you know, it kind of shows, you know, it highlights why America is 30-something in education too. We don't do critical thinking anymore. You know, I think there was a very great line in Men in Black where Tommy Lee Jones was talking about, you know, the person is smart, capable of critical thinking, but people, when they get together, they're impulsive, panicky, and act on a whim. And it's, you know, some sort of, you know, an inability to use critical thinking and common sense
and humility. Like what's wrong with being wrong? Like I was probably wrong in this debate a few times. Or like it's okay to be wrong.
I called Gretchen Whitmer Gretchen Wieners like 2 or 3 different times. You know, it's
I got the last 2 Mexican prime ministers wrong, and I think I called them presidents when they're prime ministers. Like it's okay to be wrong. Like AMLO,
I'm
really
sorry. Prime ministers, not presidents?
Or maybe I'm wrong again. See, it's okay.
I'm glad, because I've never been wrong about anything in my life.
Actors are never wrong. We basically just bullshit our way until somebody believes us.
Or we become president.
Or we become... Not yet. I would hardly call him an actor.
Reagan.
Oh, yeah. No, sorry.
I'm not a fan of
my presidents for a second.
Bedtime for Bean. I gotta release Bedtime for Beansy, and then I'm gonna take my shot, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go. Rice and
Beans, 2025. Well, gentlemen, I think that we're starting to wind down a little bit here. Unless you have any closing arguments that you really feel like you need to hit home today.
I need to not hit anything on the way home, so let's cheers.
It's cheers, gentlemen. We always want to end the show cracking your beer. I don't drink. I, of course, have my non-alcoholic, indescript, green bottled beer. Please don't sue me. It is 4:20 p.m. on the West Coast. So I'm Matt Stoner, and Stephen Anthony Lawrence, and Max Rice. This is us signing off for the week. We'll see you next week.
I'm drinking wine. I'm not telling you which one until you sponsor us.
Be safe, ladies and gentlemen. Peace.
Mind. Peace.